What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Aydian here, and really quick, there's a huge sale going on at 0.5cc.com. Go there right now, huge sale up into the new year. Also follow us on @0.5cc on Instagram and Facebook because we're gonna have a bunch of deals and sales going on, but a limited supply, so go check it out now.
You want to take responsibility for your life. I got me here, I can get me out of this.
I'm gonna show you how great I am.
Alright, so the topic of today's video, as you could tell based on the title, is transmasculine people and our hip dysphoria. So I have mentioned many times on this channel and throughout all my outlets that I personally suffer from hip dysphoria. And it's not just something that transmasculine people go through. I've talked to cisgender men as well who suffer from this. Obviously, since I'm transmasculine, we're going to talk about it in that realm. So I also have hips. I mean, they're there and they're not going anywhere. And so some of the questions I get are like, when I start T, will my hips go away? And your hips are a bone. I mean, it's literally a bone. You hear that? But the point is that a lot of people suffer from hip dysphoria, and I too suffer from hip dysphoria. And so what I notice is I compare myself to other guys and I'm like, well, look at their hips, look at their hips. I really want to set the record straight on what male bodies, cis male or trans male bodies, look like, because there isn't just one set way to look. What I actually did was I did some research, and what I found was that there are 5 different male body types: the oval, the triangle, the rectangle, the rhomboid, and the inverted triangle. Now, the one that you might recognize the most out of all 5 of these is the inverted triangle, and that's because that is what society tells us as men is the ideal look that you should have, that quote-unquote V-taper look. The reality is that that's only 1 in 5 different, body shapes that men can be. With this, I want to point out 6 different male celebrities that are considered sexy and hot that also have hips. So the first one I want to pick out is Ryan Gosling. So if you look at Ryan Gosling, he has hips. He is not an inverted triangle. He's more rhomboidy rectangle, okay? Bradley Cooper just came out with that great movie, A Star is Born, with Lady Gaga. Another guy who does not have an inverted triangle. He has hips, very visible hips. Shamar Moore. Visible hips, very visible hips. You know who has even more visible hips? Terry Crews. Terry Crews' hips protrude out of his body no matter how lean and mean he looks, okay? Another lean, mean guy is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He has hips too. They're a little harder to tell because he's so massive, but he does have hips that protrude out of his body, along with other famous celebrities that are considered sexy men, right? Hugh Jackman, right? I think he was like people's sexiest man alive at one point. They have hips. They are not that V-taper look, but they're all considered sexy and they're all considered men, and nobody devalues them because of their body type, okay? And so that's where I just want to break this myth that all men have this V-taper shape, because at the end of the day, it's our bones. You can't change bone, okay? Your bone is not going to change. So what you need to do is you really need to look more around and understand that bodies come in all different shapes and sizes. The more and more you can look around and find those people, not find the one guy at the beach who's super ripped and toned and super V-tapered. Like, look around at all the bodies around you, okay? And notice that you're no different than most of these guys. You look just like them. There's really no difference between you and them. And so I just want to point that out and reiterate that to you in case, maybe you've heard it before, but maybe you didn't really get it understanding of this. And so, I've got some tips for you, and the first tip is going to be relax, okay? Just relax. It's okay. Like, you may have hips. They may cause you dysphoria. I'm not trying to invalidate that, but what I'm trying to say is that everybody has hips, and how you're shaped doesn't determine if you're going to be read as male or female. If you really are suffering from dysphoria with your hips, do what I do, and that is work your lats, your shoulders, and your chest. Pretty much your whole upper body. Because what you can do is you just make it look like you have a smaller waist than you actually do because your upper body is bigger, right? So maybe you don't have an inverted triangle. Maybe you're more of a triangle shape, okay? So you're gonna go more like this. You're kind of bigger on your hips. Well, what you can do is you can transfer from a triangle to maybe a rectangle, right? And that would be by taking the top and broadening it out. If we take the triangle and you turn it into a rectangle, now you're more straight. And how do you do that? You have to build your muscle on top so that the top looks bigger. But the reality it is that you're not a rectangle shape, you're a triangle shape. By making an illusion, you know, making it look like you're one way when maybe your actual biological like structure of your bones are actually another way. That is what a lot of these guys do. And so that's a tip that I want to give to you all. If you're feeling dysphoric about your hips, you know, look at some of these guys, look at some of these celebrities, you know, scroll through your Instagram and stop following every single person who's got the exact same body type that you don't have. Maybe you have an oval body type. Start following guys with oval body types, you know what I mean? And also just try to kick the concept that like if you're curvy then you're more feminine looking, because it's just not true. We all have different bodies. There is no one way to look male. There's no one way to look female. Just remember this. If you're feeling any type of dysphoric about your hips, I'm here. I set the record straight. I want you to know that you're beautiful exactly how you are. You're just as manly as the next guy. You are who you are, and you shouldn't try to change that unless you feel really dysphoric and you want to make an effort towards it, right? Because I'm not trying to say like, don't do anything. You're perfect how you are. I mean, you kind of are perfect how you are, but let's just be real. Some of us like to dye our hair, we like to paint our nails, we like to change our clothes. I mean, you know, we like to get piercings, get tattoos, you know? We like to express ourselves through our bodies. So if you're looking in the mirror and you feel dysphoric about your hips, just start working out. Start following and surrounding yourself with people who have different body types. And so that is my video for today. I hope you liked it. If you liked the video, please hit the like button, turn your notifications on so you can get informed every time I make a new video, and I'll catch you in the next video. All right, peace.